This is from our friend Meghann. She reports this on Twitter today. Tory Lanez was wearing a powder pink suit when a jury convicted him of shooting Megan Thee Stallion, and he was jailed on the spot. 9 months later, he's not wearing the suit in his new prison photo, and the photos are quite a before and after. They are indeed. Lanez has been transferred to state prison, where he will serve his sentence now for shooting Megan Thee Stallion. For more on Lanez, we're going to be joined right now by our friend, legal affairs expert and journalist, Meghann. She joins me now from Los Angeles. Meghann, thanks for being with us yet again. I know you covered the story so extensively here. We wanted just to bring you on to talk about it because let's talk about, where first he will serve this 10-year prison sentence. Do you know about the North Kern State Prison? What should we know about it? Is it kind of customary for these sentences, for these now convicts serving their time?
It is customary. It's an intake center where he will be probably for a couple of months. They'll be doing assessments, mental health assessments, physical health assessments, and figuring out a placement for him somewhere in the California state prison system. So it's not a permanent placement for him, but it's the first stop on the way to a permanent placement.
Do you know if he has visitation rights? Because we know his family has been so outspoken throughout the duration of this trial, the verdict, the conviction. Can they go see him?
The facility does have visitation rights for certain modules. I'm not sure exactly which module he's being placed in or what the timeline is for that, but it does seem like throughout his duration, he should have some visitation rights, but definitely when he gets settled in a permanent location, he'll get into a solid routine like that.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about celebrities and they go serve something like this, 10 years, it's a lengthy prison sentence. You always kind of have to ask yourself, whether or not, the wardens or the guards there, the corrections officers, treat these defendants any differently, these convicts any differently because they are celebrities. That's not the case, right?
Yeah, you have to wonder if there's extra security concerns. There were concerns for him in jail. He was in protective custody based on his celebrity status, but I can't imagine that is something that would put him in permanent protective custody for 10 years, or actually probably more about 8 or 9 years now, because he's being credited for 305 days served as of August 8th. So he's up to about a year of credit or so. But yes, it's unlikely that he would be in protective custody the entire time. And in my experience in my reporting on state prison systems is they try to start inmates out from square one. Everyone starts off on the same page, and it's your behavior in state prison that dictates your security level and where you go.
Do you think he'll serve his whole sentence? I mean, is this, you see the mugshot there. Is this the last we're going to be seeing of Tory Lanez for a while? Or could he get out early?
I do think it'll be several years. I think it's unlikely he is going to serve the entire 9 years, whatever he has credit for. I think he has an 85% standard in California State Prison that he could qualify for. And then his behavior behind bars will, of course, dictate whether he's able to shave a few more months, maybe a couple years off. But I do think that he's looking at a few solid years behind bars, at least.
Okay. I'm also kind of curious as well. The appeal process is in the works, and correct me if I'm wrong if it's not, how far along they are in that and whether or not that's going to factor into how long he serves too.
It's a very early process. They did file their notice of appeal just a couple days after his sentencing, and the Court of Appeal has finally opened a case for it. There isn't the biggest rush for this because it's a very long process. I don't think we're going to be seeing an opening brief that actually has his substantive arguments for appeal until several months from now. It could be the spring until that's actually filed. And ideally, for his appeal, it will affect his sentence and he would win something on appeal. It would be remanded to the trial court or something. I do think that's unlikely just based on statistics of convictions and what the appellate court sees and what actually happens. The chances of him getting anything substantially overturned or remanded are slim, but the process is also just beginning on that.
I'm also kind of curious, have we heard at all, like from any of his family today or from Megan Thee Stallion about now that he is where he is going to be serving this?
I haven't heard from comments from any of them, but I do know that Meghan is so focused on her future and looking ahead and really trying to put him behind her. I mean, she's got a new deal with Hot Cheetos that she's promoting. I mean, she really seems to be coming into her own. She's got the new song with Cardi B out, and I think she's so focused on all the opportunities she has and in her future that commenting on this or kind of giving him any mind would just kind of be a waste.
You know, Megan, in your article about this, him reporting to this correctional facility, you contrasted the way the judge spoke about Danny Masterson, a separate judge, versus the judge speaking about Tory Lanez as well. Can you elaborate on that? Why did you think it was important to note that distinction?
I think it's so interesting because it's a commentary on the power that judges have and the different approaches that judges take, because judges can say as little or as much as they want at sentencing. And the Judge Charlene Omedo, in Danny Masterson's case, quoted Martin Luther King Jr., made it clear that she thinks Danny Masterson is guilty, and went over the reasons why she doesn't buy into his defense or his kind of victimhood that he's playing. Whereas in Tory Lanez's case, Judge David Hereford was a little more passive in his approach, just said that, you know, sometimes good people do bad things. He did unequivocally say that Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion, but he was talking about a fleeting moment and how many lives changed in just a few seconds. And it wasn't quite the forceful reprimand that Judge Olmedo gave Danny Masterson. So I think it's just such an interesting commentary on our judiciary and how even when we're dealing with the law and really objective things like the law, personality and individual approaches still matter.
Yeah, you know, I only ask about the Masterson case because we've talked to you so much, you know, about that particular trial, verdict, and sentencing as well. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask, you know, kind of your thoughts. I know this is, a lot of people are talking about this. I believe this was yesterday, TMZ reporting, Danny Masterson's wife, Bijou Phillips, filing for divorce, you know, against Masterson there as he goes to serve his 30-year to life prison sentence soon. You know, I don't want to speculate on, you know, how this happened or why this happened, but the timing of it is somewhat peculiar, right?
It is, and just based on her reaction in court and how loyal she was to him in court, I mean, I do have questions about whether this is I do not want to be married to this man anymore because I'm appalled at what he did. It seems like there could be some more logistical issues at play here. And it does make me think about the fact that the lawsuits are now heating up and that he faces some pretty severe financial liability in these civil suits. So getting some protections in place like that for her and her daughter to separate from him legally could be a motivation there, I think.
All right, Meghann Cuniff, as always, we appreciate your reporting. It's so great, especially about these high-profile cases there in Los Angeles. Talk again.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.